So what is this I'm doing today? Well, take a look at the dynamotor, and the reason it is not putting out the power it should is because of one thing. The commutator right here, they're dirty and actually have to be cleaned up, and for that you got to use alcohol and some emery paper and Q-tips, and in between you have to use one of these to go right down the center to make sure that these are cleared out, every single one on both sides. Now, if you look around at the other side, it's going to be a lot more difficult. Why? Because they put two capacitors on either side, on the other, the high voltage end, for noise suppression. So that's going to be a lot harder trying to get to that. But first I'm going to do this first side first. And what I'm thinking of doing is I'm going to have to take the brushes out. They're on either side so it doesn't drag at all. Or I can leave it in there and run it off of a 12 volt supply. And if I do that, I can actually run it slow enough that I can, put the emery paper down, cut it down to a smaller size, and then we'll just put it right there in there. I'm going to get smaller. No, might work that way too. And then run it through and clean it up that way, and then we'll clean it off. Now the other side, I'm going to probably have to take the other capacitors off and do that in too. And then we'll have to see what kind of voltage we come up with. Okay? Okay, what I'm going to do now is I've hooked up this is a 12 volt power supply, and that is going to be fed into the 24 volt side of the dynamotor. And what that's going to allow me to do is when I touch it, it'll run it slower than normal speed. I mean, it'll run it, I think it's, the normal speed is like 2500 RPM or something like that. But this way here, it'll go fast enough and it'll be strong enough so that I can clean where I need it to be cleaned, and we'll see what happens. Now on either side here, these are caps for where the brushes are, and I'm not going to touch those yet, not until after I clean this up, and we'll see what we can do with this. And it shouldn't hurt this thing to run it. In fact, it should be easier on it to run it on 12 volts instead of 24. So we'll see. And it is cleaning. Notice it is lugging down, but and it's cleaning it. Let's see the other side here. Now, okay, and I'll use a Q-tip with some alcohol while it's rotating, since it's probably the easiest way to clean it too. So we'll see. See, there's still junk coming off of it, and that's what we want to get off. You want to get all that dirty stuff off of there. And whoop, that's what we're coming up with. So we're going to clean that off until we can clean it up. It's extremely dirty. Now remember, this is made probably around the 1940s, so around World War II, and we're getting cleaner. So it'll take me a while to go ahead and clean this up, but once I do, when I do that, I'll stop it here and take a look. Now see, wouldn't you know it, my battery died just then. So we're back to this again. Now, what I was going to say was, I have this tool I got from where I used to work, Pacific Gas and Electric. And with this, you clean in between these little spots in here, so that when it goes around, it'll keep, when it's moving, these are all have to be well defined so that the power will be uniform. So hopefully when we do this, and it didn't take very much to just clean out, make sure there's nothing stuck inside there. Oh, nope, no metal particles in between. It's like a copper over top of another core, so I don't know if you see my big finger in the way. See what I'm doing. And this has got just a slight hook to the end of it. And make sure that it's all cleaned out. And feels like it's going in there, so, which is good, because that's what it should be doing. You should feel there should be a decent gap in there between that and the copper. Alright, now back to the alcohol. Now we're going to clean this thing again. And, well, I guess I better turn it back on again too. Maybe that'll help. So, easy. It still comes up with more dirt after you do that. It's got to be cleaned up enough. I go back and forth over this thing quite a few times so that it's cleaned up. And that's not the only thing to do with this. This is only one step, actually. And you got to remember, this is all because it's not really, it doesn't really have a steady voltage to it, and it should have. And the only reason it doesn't is because the carbon buildup, and it's a combination of a couple of things. So, you see, it's still dirty, but it's a lot cleaner than it was. So, now, this is only alcohol, like I said. I'll shut that off and take a look at it again. Okay, anyway, so, yeah, it looks, I'll put it this way, it looks a lot cleaner than it was, because I don't know if you can see the other side. Well, let me turn this other light on. Basically, what we had was that, which is really dirty. up here in this end. Let's see if I can get closer. And likewise, I think it's up all the way. Get it closer. Oops, closer still. Alright, let's see. There it is. Okay. So that's what it started out looking like. This was exactly the same as the other side. And now that's what we have. So, pretty sure that will operate pretty well. The only thing is on this other side, we do have these capacitors in the way, which I have to take off. The ends, these ends have grease. These are grease caps, basically, is what they are. You got to unscrew the caps and then check and see if the grease is still okay. I don't really know if it is, depending on how old this thing is. It's probably from the 1940s. So anyway, so there you go. Like I said, that's only one step. I got a few more to go. So right now, that's going to be it for now. And I will be back later to show you more. Okay, bye for now.